George of the jungle, strong as he can be. Watch out for that tree. George of the jungle lives a life that's free. Watch out for that tree. When he gets in the scrape, he makes his escape with the help of his friend, an 888. Then away he'll schlep on his elephant ship while Fella and Ursula stay in step. Well, George of the jungle, friend to you and me. Watch out for that tree. Watch out for that tree. George of the jungle, friend to you and me. George of the jungle, strong as he can be. Watch out for that tree. When he gets in the scrape, he makes his escape with the help of his friend, an 888. Then away he'll schlep on his elephant ship while Fella and Ursula stay in step. Well, George of the jungle, friend to you and me. Watch out for that tree.
One thing you can say about the Boondockie tribe. When they run amok, they really run amok. And this time they've got a doozy going, complete with 2 prisoners already.
Help! They're going to sacrifice us to the gorilla god. Help!
Oh, tough it out, Percy. The district commissioner's sure to hear of this and send troops to rescue us.
There's just one little hitch, madam.
The what?
I'm the district commissioner.
The help! Help!
The cries of the hapless pair reached the sensitive ears of faithful Shep, pet elephant of George of the jungle. Trumpeting shrilly, Shep dashed to the rescue, and in moments, the Boondockies had 3 prisoners. Fortunately, the ever-present Tookie Tookie Bird had seen all that happened and made a beeline, or birdline, for the palatial treehouse belonging to George of the jungle, where Ursula was washing out a few things.
Please, wait for George's opening yell. Now.
What is it, dear?
Boondockie tribe running amok again.
That's the 3rd time this week. What about?
Television Nairobi showing old jungle movies again.
Oh, that always makes the natives restless.
This time they captured District Commissioner.
George, you must do something.
Oh, Boondockies just like playful children, only with poison blowguns. What? Ship captured. George, go. Farewell.
Dear, remember, we live in a tree. George, get your foot out of my wash bucket.
No time for trifles, Max. Ship in trouble.
Max?
Screened by the heavy foliage from hostile eyes, the Jungle King slipped silently along the jungle trail. In a short time, George was perched on a sheer cliff overlooking the Boondockie village. Seizing a long vine, he flung himself downward. And in a few seconds, the Boondockies had 4 prisoners.
Hold it, Chief. We can't have 4 prisoners.
Why?
We run out of steaks. George has got to go now.
Thus it was that the mighty Jungle King was chosen as the first sacrifice to the fearsome gorilla god, Ungawa.
Look, it's a statue of an enormous man-eating gorilla 10 feet tall.
There's just one hitch, madam.
What?
That's not a statue.
Oh, too true, too true.
Ladies and gentlemen, 3 falls to finish for the Jungle Weight Championship of Africa. In this corner of the clearing, at 8,267 pounds, the great Angola. And in this corner at 198 pounds, not counting the bucket, George of the jungle.
What George win if he beat Ungawa?
We all agree that you're the king of the jungle.
What Ungawa get if he win?
He get you.
He'll destroy you.
Nonsense. George beat him with one hand tied behind back.
Unfortunately, old man, you have both hands tied behind your back.
That make it tougher, all righty.
And the fierce man-eater raised George high above his head and dashed him to the ground.
Oh! That's smart.
The first round goes to Ungower.
Yeah!
But as fate would have it, George had landed within a trunk's length of faithful Shep. Using the sensitive tip of his trunk like a set of fingers, the prehensile pachyderm untied the knots which bound his master.
Shep not prehensile pachyderm. Shep good doggy.
George, your hands are free.
Go get him, handsome.
First, George get bucket off foot.
But while George struggled with the bucket, Ungower attacked again.
And there's an aerobic knee drop. Ooh, the Tanganyika twist. And a Kenya karate chop. And then go on corks that Somali smash.
George, do something.
George already do something.
What?
Got bucket off foot.
Look out!
Where?
Then as the fearless jungle lord waited for Ungower's charge, the wily witch doctor crept up behind him and administered a massive six-match African hotfoot.
The winner and stud champion, George of the Jungle.
Ah!
Oh, is that your famous victory cry, George?
No, Hotfoot still hurt.
Tom Slick, let me tell you why. He's the best of all good guys. Tom Slick, in the Thunderbolt we slapper once he's on your tail. He won't quit because you know there's no such word as fail to Tom Slick.
Welcome to the hottest event in cold weather racing, the final heat of the Upper Crust Snowmobile Rally, sponsored by Vittorio Vermicelli, the frozen pizza king.
Hey, that's it, I. Vermicelli frozen pizzas in 39 flavors. Mozzarella, anchovy, green pepper.
Thank you, Vittorio. Now here is that champ of champs, Tom Slick in the converted Thunderbolt grease slapper.
Yay!
Hi there, fans.
Oh, Gertie, I do hope Tom carries the day and bears away the laurels.
I just hope he wins.
And here, skulking to the finish line, is the well-known punk sport and bad loser, Baron Automatic in his snowmobile, the Frostoblast Digaloo.
Well, Clutcher, how much did you bet on me?
Everything you own, Master. If you don't win, it's...
It's for both of us, Clutcher. Now get to your dirty work.
Yes, Master.
And there they go, and it's Tom Slick in the lead.
Hey, we got a pepperoni, provolone, rigatone.
Tom is approaching Icy Gulch Corner.
And now it's Kablooey Tom Slick.
Baron to Clutcher. What spoiled the plan?
A sudden snowfall. Sorry, Master.
Now you must stop Tom Slick at Honeymoon Bridge.
Yes, Master.
Honeymoon Bridge is a narrow ice bridge over a deep crevasse.
When Tom Slick tries to cross here, Kablooey!
But on the bridge approach, it's the former Royal Mountie, and the Spin Globe Ice Picker taking over the lead.
Well raced, Roy. Thank you, good sport, Tom Slick. Whoops!
Well, that's it for Royal Mountie and Honeymoon Bridge. But what's this? Tom Slick is draining a bucket of water from his radiator.
The cold air has frozen that water into a temporary bridge. And there goes Clever Tom, followed by Furhood Parker in the Uniski Snowstreaker. Baron Automatic trails badly.
It's impossible! A little strip of ice like this could not hold that much weight. You see?
With Tom Slick in the lead, the racers approach Funston Tunnel.
Here is your golden opportunity, Clutcher. Meanwhile, I am going to cheat and take a shortcut.
This time, Master, I cannot fail. When Tom Slick meets that snowball, kablooey!
But wait, Tom is turning off the course and taking the long way over the mountain. Why?
There, on the hillside, a sprig of Edelweiss. The girls would never forgive me if I didn't bring them a souvenir.
Isn't it romantic? He's going to bring us back a sprig of Edelweiss.
I wish he'd bring us a hot cup of coffee. I'd pour it in my shoes.
And as Tom takes the high road, Furhood Parker takes the low road.
What in the world is taking so long?
Well, it's the end of the race for plucky Furhood Parker.
You kablooey the wrong man, Clutcher.
Sorry, Master.
Here's that rotten cheater, Baron Automatic, entering the stretch run. But wait, here comes Tom Slick.
Yay!
Uh-oh, what's that emerging from the rear of the Frostoblast Digaloo? It's a jet flame snow melter.
Gertie, that heat is melting the snow in front of Tom.
I wish he'd aim some this way.
There's nothing for Tom's skis to slide on.
That kind of poor sportsmanship just burns me up.
Looks like Tom is out of the running.
Quick, 4 frozen pizzas to go.
What size?
About as big as automobile tires.
That's a medium. Here you are.
Tom, boy, this is no time for noshing.
They're not to eat, Gertie. They're to run on. I'll put the anchovy pizzas in the rear. They give more traction.
Do you think there's still a chance, Tom?
I never worry about defeat, Marigold.
I do.
You worry about defeat, Gertie.
Yes, they're almost frozen.
Gertie, you're always good for a timely chuckle.
Who's laughing?
Both snow buggies are nearing the finish line, and Tom Slick surges ahead.
Yay!
But this finish line is made of rubber. When Tom Slick hits it, kablooey!
But the tremendous heat of the tire friction is rapidly thawing out those frozen pizzas, and uh-oh, there they go, just a foot from the finish line, and here comes the Baron.
No, wait, Master.
Well, Clutcher, we are ruined.
Oh, I'm sorry I kablooeyed you, Master. Is there anything I can do?
Yes. Give me your hat, please, Clutcher.
Yes, Master.
And Tom Slick pushes the converted Thunderbolt grease slapper to victory.
Yay!
Well, what do you think about vermicelli pizzas now, huh?
Not much, sir. Frankly, they don't stand up under abuse.
I love 'em, hon.
Hey, that's more like it.
Yes, they make great foot warmers.
When you find yourself in danger, when you're threatened by a stranger, when it looks like you will take a licking, there is someone waiting who will hurry up and rescue you. Just call for Super Chicken. Fred, if you're afraid, you'll have to overlook it. Besides, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it. He will drink his super sauce and throw the bad guys for a loss, and he will bring them in alive and kicking. There is one thing you should learn when there is no one else to turn to. Call for Super Chicken. Call for Super Chicken.
Within this museum, protected day and night by armed guards, is a remarkable object. It is the largest pearl in the world, 3 priceless pounds of pink, pearly perfection. But in a dingy room over a nearby fish market is an even more remarkable object.
148-pound oyster.
Yes, in reality, the oyster is the nickname of the world's most notorious pearl thief, who uses this shell as a combination disguise and hideout. Once inside his shell, the oyster is well-nigh impervious to attack.
It's also a dandy place to store mushrooms.
On this fateful day, the oyster entered the museum with but one goal in view.
To purloin the pearl.
His method was simplicity itself.
My baby. Give me back my baby.
Your baby, ma'am?
Yes, I am that precious pearl's long-lost mommy.
No kidding. Are you really?
Yes, I'm the mother of Pearl.
I guess it's all right then.
I don't know, Hornbeck.
Come, Melville. Can we resist the mother's tears?
I suppose you're right.
And while the two soft-headed, hearted guards stood aside, the oyster snapped up the 3-pound pearl.
Hey, that ain't no lady oyster.
It ain't even a lady.
It's the oyster.
Got him.
As all this was occurring, Henry Cabot Henhouse III and Fred, who in reality are Super Chicken and Fred, were taking their morning walk. As they reached the corner,
Grab him, Fred.
I've got him.
Here, sir, or madam, you dropped your world's largest pearl.
Oh, thanks.
Nothing like a good deed to start the day off right, Fred.
Hey, you. You with the feathers.
Yes, officer?
Have you seen an oyster pass this way?
Yes, come to think of it. Why?
'Cause that's the oyster, and he just stole the world's largest pearl.
They'll never catch him, Fred.
Why?
Oysters are too slippery. Fred, we have inadvertently aided a criminal to escape.
We?
No time to explain, Fred. This looks like a job for Super Chicken.
Yeah,
I'll slip into the super suit. You get the super sauce.
right.
dashing into a nearby phone booth, the plucky chicken began to change his clothes.
Drat these buttons. Hello.
Hello? Is Super Chicken there?
Almost. Who's this?
Well, tell him when he's ready. The oyster will be waiting.
Here's the super sauce.
Thanks, Fred. Little heavy on the lemon peel is...
In a matter of seconds, the simple bird was transformed into Super Chicken.
Now, Super Chicken speaking. He must have hung up. Come on, Fred.
And the mighty chicken took to the air in search of the oyster.
Hang on, Fred. First, we're going to search that deserted fisherman's shack on the pier.
And Super Chicken set his aircraft down with pinpoint accuracy.
Kind of a blunt pinpoint, wasn't it?
Any landing you can walk away from is a good one, Fred.
Well, anyway, we know one thing. He isn't in that shack.
True.
What's the next move?
I'm going to pull him to us with my oyster magnetic beam. Watch this.
Bracing himself, Super Chicken waited for magnetic contact with the oyster.
Any bites yet, Super Chicken?
No, not yet.
Super Chicken, you did it. That's the oyster.
My oyster magnet never fails, Fred.
How are you going to get him out of the shell?
I'll blast him out with my lightning ray bolt. Stand back, Fred.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Fred.
So am I.
Perhaps my tear gas fountain pen gun will do the trick. Take this, oyster.
The gas pen must be in your other suit.
I'm glad nobody was here to see that.
Maybe the oyster isn't in there.
Oysters are always in there, Fred. This is your last chance, oyster. Give me the world's largest pearl, or I'm coming in after you with my super bare hands. I didn't know it was a black pearl with a fuse in it.
It isn't. That's a bomb.
Nonsense, Fred. I know a bomb when I see one. Let that be a lesson to you, Fred. Never trust an oyster.
He's getting away.
Good. Follow me.
The mighty bird followed the oyster to every fish market and oyster bar on the waterfront. Then finally on the sands of Oyster Beach.
I'll teach that stupid chicken to toy with an oyster. This cannon will stop him dead in his tracks.
Did you hear what he said, Fred?
No, you're the one with super hearing.
He said he was going to shoot us down. But don't worry, Fred. Oysters are terrible shots.
Fire!
Let that be a lesson, Fred.
Never trust an oyster.
The fool should have known better than to cross the oyster. The pearl is mine. It's the end of the show, and Super Chicken has failed.
Super Chicken, you did it. We've got the oyster and the pearl.
Like I say, Fred, lightning always strikes skin deep.
The pearl went back to the museum, and the oyster went to jail to serve every month with an R in it for the next 30 years. The mighty chicken had done it again. So when you hear that cry in the sky, you'll know it's Super Chicken.
Lightning always strikes skin deep.
George, George, George of the jungle, strong as he can be. Watch out for that tree. George, George, George of the jungle lives a life that's free. Watch out for that tree. When he gets in the scrape, he makes his escape with the help of his friend, an 888. Then away he'll schlep on his elephant shep, while Fella and Ursula stay in step. Well, George, George, George of the jungle, friend to you and me. Watch out for that tree. Watch out for that tree. George, George, George of the jungle, friend to